Now this is an interesting piece of rock. It's lithographic limestone. It's called that because it's specially prepared for a form of printing called lithography. And you can see that it's probably used for, or certainly used for printing boiled beef labels, if you can read that back to front, probably for First World War soldiers. And like any form of printing, what you prepare the printing on is back to front, so that when you slap the paper on and pull it off, it comes out the right way round. Well, printing with stone, or stone lithography, is a very early form of printing, and not many people do it anymore, but a few do. To print properly, a lithographic stone has to be very flat, so it's ground. Then a design is drawn with a waxy crayon. Water will wet the unprepared stone, but it won't wet the waxy design. An oily ink will hold to the waxy design, but it won't stick to the wet stone, and then a print can be made. The black colour is removed. The waxy design still remains on the stone though. Water wets the stone, but not the image. An oily ink on the roller is transferred to the stone, where it doesn't stick to the water, but it does stick to the waxy image. A sheet of paper is placed on top, and the whole thing is passed through rollers or a press. And the paper's picked up the oily ink to make a lithographic print. Now, lithography as good as that would be impossible to do at home. There is an easy technique, though, to produce simple little patterns and designs, and here's how it goes. First of all, you're going to have to use damp paper, so get ready by taking an ordinary piece of paper, wetting it on both sides, and then hanging it out to dry somewhere. That means that when you come to use it, it won't be glistening wet, it'll just be damp, and that's the way you want it. I'll put it over there and see how it gets on. Well, instead of lithographic stone, use one of these. It's a quarry tile. Whatever you do, make sure it's not glazed. If it's unglazed, a dab of water on it will stick to the surface. If it's glazed, that will roll off. Then you can put that flat, and with a crayon, just like real lithography, you draw your design. And let's say I did a bird. I'd probably start with a head here and body out there, tail, legs, something like that. It'd take a while to do, but I'd colour in all the bits that, in fact, I wanted to be white in my pattern. It's a bit the reverse of real lithography, but it's because I don't want water to stick to those waxy bits. Well, that's a fairly rough-looking bird. I've done a better one, and to save time, I'll wheel it in here. And there it goes. That's my bird pattern. And what I want is that bird in white on a coloured background. So I put that flat, and the coloured background I get is with a watery ink. I'm using food colouring, but ink is just as good. And by painting that around here, you can see it sticks to the quarry tile, but it doesn't stick to the wax. And that's exactly what I want. It rolls away from the wax, and that will leave it as a non-coloured design. Don't make it too thick. If you do, it'll smudge horribly, but by just painting it around here and leaving a good wet, but not too wet finish, I'm covering the tile, and I'm pretty well ready for printing now. And it's about now that that piece of damp paper comes in. It shouldn't be glistening wet, it should be just damp. And if I get it here, there we are, damp but not glistening. Position it over the quarry tile, don't let it smudge, and as soon as it's in contact, get a spoon and run all over the surface, pressing very hard. That's the equivalent of the roller. And you see that the ink is coming through the paper where it was on the tile, but it's not coming through where the waxy bit was. And do that all over the tile. Well, let's see what we've got. Gently pull the paper back without smudging, and here comes the image off the wax pattern. And there's our bird in reverse. Not too bad considering, and it is a form of printing because you can do it again and again and again on whatever coloured paper you like, and that gives you the printed image. So that's my little bird, and in fact you can do lots of patterns. This little person produced these. So get yourself a quarry tile and have a go at homemade lithography. Curiosity.